Welcome to Social Media Talks podcasts, brought to you by compassmedia.ie.
Hello and good afternoon to you, or good evening to you, or good morning to you, wherever you may be, and it's a very, very warm welcome to you today. Yes, you might be interested, you might be sort of saying to yourself, well, what is he playing at the start of the podcast today? Well, to be honest with you, it is our birthday. Yes, it is. It is our 1 year anniversary today for the Social Media Talks podcast. This is episode number 52, so we are absolutely thrilled to be able to celebrate our anniversary, our 1 year anniversary here on the podcast. And it has been such a huge journey for us over the last couple of months, and we are so delighted that we have made it to our year-long anniversary. Yes, indeed. So I do hope you can stay with me on the show today, because on the podcast we are going to be talking, we're just going to be reminiscing, I suppose is the word I would use. So over the next 30 minutes or so, we'll be looking back at some of the fantastic people that we've spoken to, and we'll be playing you a few little bits and snippets from the conversations that we've had. And we've had some really fantastic guests on the show, and we've tackled many different subjects around social and digital marketing over the last year, and it really has been fantastic to share some insights with you, and of course as well for your support as well over the last number of months with the podcast as well. So we are absolutely thrilled that you have decided to subscribe, and you've rated and you've reviewed, and we've had some fun over the last couple of months with some of the guests as well. And it really is, it's so helpful to get your comments on all of the podcasts as well. And of course, we've spoke to some of the world's leading experts in business and in social media over the last 12 months or so. So we just wanted to give you a little snippet of some of the people that have been on the show.
Hi, I'm Barry Feldman from Feldman Creative.
I'm Bill Hart from Building Champion.
Hi, I'm Lucy Hall from avissomedia.com and socialday.co.uk.
Hi, I'm Ian Anderson-Gray from Seriously Social.
Hey, this is Viveka von Rosen.
Hi, I'm Greg Fry.
Hi, I'm Subi Zimmerman.
This is Brian Fanzo.
Hello, I'm Joanne Sweeney-Burke.
Hi, I'm Cami Huyse.
Hi, I'm Dan Knowlton from KPS Digital Marketing.
Hi, Steve Dotto here from dottotech.com.
Hi, I'm Jessica Phillips.
Hi, I'm Victoria Taylor.
Hi, I'm Jen Herman.
Hello, I'm Bibi Baskin.
Hi, I'm Todd Genetasio.
Hi, I'm Mike Alton from the Social Media Hat.
I'm Paul O'Mahony.
Hi, this is Trevor Lorkings.
I'm Julia Bramble from bramblebuzz.co.uk.
Hi, this is Paul Dunphy, Esquire.
Hi, I'm Lorcan Kinsler from Brand Nova Digital.
Hi, I'm Michelle Duffy-Rudden from Irish Biz Party.
Hey, this is Madeline Sklar, host of the Twitter Smarter podcast, and you're listening to the Social Media Talks podcast with Alan Hennessy of Compass Media.
So there you go. You can actually, as you can see, there has been a huge amount of social media influencers and business professionals that have been on the podcast over the last year. And of course, we started out way back at the start of October of last year, and it has just built every week. And of course, we release the Social Media Talks podcast right here on our website, which is compassmedia.ie, and it's also available across all of the different podcasting providers. And over the whole year, we've spoke about relationship marketing, YouTube, live video. We've talked about Twitter. We've talked about Instagram. We've talked about Facebook. We've talked about scheduling tools. So, we really have covered so much. It's only when we sit back, and we actually were in the office the other day, and we were looking back at the podcast and trying to pick the best pieces out, and it just got so hard. It really just got so hard. So what we done was we went online, as we do, and we went onto Twitter, and we created a little poll, and we asked for your reaction as to what was your favorite interview, and we created a poll and asked you to get in contact with us either via email or also by the Twitter and Facebook and all our usual platforms as well. And we had a great response response, and thanks to everyone for telling us their thoughts first, and also the ones that they enjoyed and the ones they got most value from. So what we decided to do on this podcast today is that we're going to play some of the best bits from I suppose the top 5 or the top 6 anyway. Well, I'll give you a little taste of them over the next over the course of the program here today. And I think one of the highlights for me was one of our first interviews with one of the world's leading experts in relationship marketing, and was Mr. Ted Rubin, and he is a relationship marketer. He has, of course, the hashtag ROR, which is Return on Relationship, and we spoke to Ted way back early stages of the podcast, which was episode number 5. So if you want to listen to the full episode, you can do so by logging onto the website and finding it. You'll find it in the archives there as well. So I just wanted to give you a little quick snippet of what Ted's conversation was with us. So let's jump over here now.
I sent out a tweet that said it's not just about return on investment. It's about return on relationship. And within 5 minutes, even at that limited time of my reach, I got 20 retweets, and I got outreach from people saying, wow. And I realized I was onto something. So I continue to do what I do. I start posting, and I look to see the feedback I get from people. Because, we have great thought process ourselves, but if we just think ourselves in a bubble, we're not understanding how people are perceiving what we're saying. And it's not what you're saying. I like to say a brand is what a business does. A reputation is what people remember and share. It's the way people perceive you, not the way you perceive yourself. So I just started thinking about this, and I started writing about it, and people jumped onto it right away. And little by little, I started building something around it. And then people reached out to me and said, oh, Ted, you've got to really develop this. You've got to stop writing blog posts about it. And little by little, it came to life. And when I met back with them, I explained to them that, people like to say, what's the ROI of social media? And my answer, what I asked them back when they asked that is I asked them, what's the ROI of trust and what's the ROI of loyalty?
Yeah, totally.
And any senior executive, they might not get the word advocacy or shares or retweets or any of this nonsense, but when you talk to them about trust and loyalty, they understand that's the brass ring in any business. Because what does trust and loyalty lead to? It leads to a long-term business relationship. So it adds to a longer lifetime value of the customer. It adds to a larger average order value, and it adds to a more frequent purchases because people feel comfortable with you. They're loyal to you. Instead of going somewhere else, they come back to you.
Yeah.
So that's where this all developed from. And for me, I knew, and again, my second book is called How to Look People in the Eye Digitally, because when I first wrote about that, people understood it. It was part of return on relationship. They understood it meant connecting the way you and I connected when we met in Ireland, but being able to do it via these platforms. Just to put a little bit of a shape around this so your audience understands the way I view return on relationship. I like to talk about return on relationship, and it's people ROR versus ROI, so return on relationship. The hashtag I use, as you mentioned, is hashtag RONR for return on relationship. Why I didn't use hashtag ROR is a story for another time because it'll take up too much of this podcast, but that's a marketing story unto itself. But to give you just a little bit of a definition, I like to say that return on relationship, simply put, is the value that is accrued by a person or a brand due to nurturing a relationship. ROI is simple dollars and cents, whereas ROR is the value, both perceived and real, that will accrue over time through connection, loyalty, recommendations, and sharing. And it's used to define and educate companies, brands, and people, let's not leave the people part out of this, about the importance of creating authentic connection, interaction, and engagement.
Yes. So there you go. That is, as I said, that was Ted Rubins that we interviewed on the podcast way back last year, and it is episode number 5. So if you want to listen to that in its entirety, please do jump on and have a listen to it. And of course, Ted is an evangelist with regards to return on relationship, and well worth checking out his website and his content as well across all the social media platforms. You can find them there as well. Over the course of the podcast, what we do is we always try and find interesting stories or interesting content that will help you progress your business. And we had a email from a lady in Cork by the name of Natalie, who is looking to find out more about customer experience and customer relationships and stuff like that, and how can she build on them. And we have a good friend of the podcast, which is Victoria Taylor from Untwisted Media. So we got in contact with Victoria, and we spoke to her and asked her would she come on and would she speak about customer experience. So she came on, and we got a great reaction to the podcast, and I just wanted to play you another little snippet of that particular interview as well. So hopefully you enjoy this.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of definitions, Alan, about what customer experience is, and I think a lot of people try to define it quite clinically, and this is something that I talk about and say, we can't actually ever really define customer experience because every single person is different. So you'll often hear phrases like mapping the customer journey, let's look at the journey a customer's going on, but everybody's going on a different journey with you as a business owner. And I try and sort of say to people to even strip it back further than customer experience and make it people experience, because not everybody is a customer and not everyone will become a customer. But if we can create amazing experiences with people as people, then they may become a customer. Right. So I think it's sort of stripping it even further back than going, what can this person do for my business? What can this person do for my bottom line? And rather just think about, how can I be a good person? How can I treat people well? How can I make sure that people have the best possible experience with me through every single interaction that they have with me, and then go from there? It's quite simplistic, really. I think a lot of people kind of put people into boxes. If we're lucky enough that someone does become a customer, and they think, okay, someone's bought a service off me or a product off me, and that's where that relationship ends. But that's absolutely the wrong way to look at things. People come into our lives and they might remain a client for a while, they might become a friend. Every part of that journey continues. And I think a lot of people sort of shut off and think, okay, someone's bought this off me, that's it, they're gone now, rather than sort of nurturing that relationship. What we're really talking about here is continuous relationships, and people that, I'm working with people still today that I was working with when I started my business 5 years ago. What they're doing with me is completely different now. But that relationship has continued, and the experience that they have had with me has been there. And
yeah, so as you can see, Vicky gave us some fantastic tips and tricks, and she gave us a lot of insights as well into customer experience as well. And if you want more information about Vicky, you can log on to her website at untwistedmedia.co.uk to find out all about Vicky as well. Over the course of the year, we have spoke with, as I said, numerous different social media marketers. And the beauty of a podcast is that we can be anywhere in the world and we can talk to anyone in the world. So we don't have to be in the actual physical place together. And we spoke to Cami Huyse from Zoetica Media, and Cami is also one part of another podcast with another guest that we had on the programme, Madeleine Sklar, and she does a podcast called Communities That Convert. And we spoke to Cami all about building communities online, and I just wanted to give you a little bit of a brief snippet of her podcast as well. So we'll just jump over here to this. What is a community?
Yeah, that is a really great question, because honestly, I think there's a lot of misconception about what a community, an online community is. And it can be really anything from just a small group of people that work together all the way to a huge, large, thousands of people type of group of people. So really what you're going to have to do is decide for yourself what kind of community you want to build. And really what it ends up being in the end is people that are working together toward a common goal and have a common interest and that talk to each other. That's an important part of it. There has to be a two-way exchange of communication for it to be a community. You can't just be talking to somebody and never hearing back from them or reflecting. So it has to be a two-way communication channel.
There you go, an excerpt from the Cami Huyse interview about building communities, which is episode number 23, if you want to go back and take a listen to that. It really is, it's fantastic to be able to sit here and just to sit back and, and listen to some of these experts that we spoke about. And of course, during last year, there was a massive surge in live video and creating live videos around Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and all of the usual platforms. What we found is that a lot of people were coming to us and saying, oh, well, I don't have the confidence and I don't have the ability and I'm scared to, go and do a live video across. So what we done is we actually spoke to Ian Anderson Gray, who is an absolute gentleman and a really good friend as well. And Ian came on and he spoke, and Ian is of course from Sweeney-Burke Social, and he's also a live video evangelist. He is probably one of the best ones around there to find out about all the tech type of stuff that is involved with doing live video, and also about how to go about doing it as well. So we decided that we would ask Ian to come on the podcast and chat to us about that, and this is from episode number 26 of the podcast series. I think think there's a lot as well to do there with, being confident as well in front of the camera. You might talk about a little bit about that.
Well, yes, the whole confidence side of things. So I've spoken to quite a few people who would maybe describe themselves as shy or introverted or just plain petrified in terms of getting in front of the camera. And I think you need to realize, first of all, if you feel like that, you are not alone. I feel like that from time to time. I think it's actually a good thing to feel nervous before you do a live video. I feel nervous if I'm going and speaking at a conference, but it's turning those nerves, that kind of fear, into energy in front of the camera. That's the key. And the only way to learn how to do that is to keep on doing it, to start. If you don't start, then you're never going to get there. It's like going to the gym. The hardest part about going to the gym or doing any form of exercise, in my opinion, is just getting out of the door. It's that first step. So I think there's a few things that you can do, some practical steps that will help you get started with your first live video. I think, first of all, just test, get in front of the camera and try and build some consistency. A great place to start is doing some Instagram stories or Facebook stories. Now, this is not live video, but these are 15-second little short snippets that you can record of yourself throughout the day, and do that for 7 to 14 days. Just do it consistently every day. Get in front of the camera. If you mess up, you can re-record it. It's not the end of the world. And the great thing about stories is they disappear after 24 hours. So what's the worst that's going to happen? Definitely,
someone's just going to see it for 24 hours and then say, right, okay.
So build some consistency and get in front of the camera. That's a great place to start. And then it's really a case of going live, but with a plan. Now, I'm not against being spontaneous. I think that's fine. But actually, when you first go live, it's good to come up with a title and 3 points that you're going to share. So if you've written a blog post, for example, why not take that blog post, take the title, extract 3 points from that blog post, and that's going to be your live video. Put those, print off those points in front of you, and then you can go through those points one by one, and that's your live video. Make it only 5 minutes to begin with, and then try and do that every day or once a week, twice a week. Be consistent. And there's quite a few other things you can do. You could join a group of people. You could join a live video challenge where each of you're kind of encouraging each other to be consistent and to go live and help each other.
There you go. So as I said, there was Ian Anderson Gray and from Seriously Social, and of course Ian was talking all about live video and getting in front of the camera, and then he talks also about some of the tech as well that goes along with creating live videos. Well worth a listen to it if you are interested in creating live videos for your social media platforms as well. And it really is, it's fantastic. And as I said, when we sit back and we look at these podcasts that we've done and the people that we've interviewed, it's been quite a wide range of different guests, and we've had a lot of fun. We've had a good few people. Unfortunately, with the podcast, we can't bring you every one of the interviews because we'll be here all day. But what I'm saying is we have had some wonderful guests on the podcast, and just to give you an idea of some of them, like we have interviewed Jen Herman from who's an Instagram marketer. We've also interviewed Lisa Smith from EngageSmith.com. We've also had fantastic guests. We've had Gillian Godsall talking all about blockchain and all about Bitcoin and stuff like that. We also had 2 authors on as well. We had Coach Bill Hart. He was talking about his new book, White Collar Warriors. We had Paul O'Mahony on as well, and he wrote a book which he has kind enough to give us the preview of it on the podcast, and we were sort of the first people to get the interview. So we've had a few exclusives on it, and of course the book that he released was called Rethink Social Media and Stop Wasting Time and Start Earning Money from It. And it was a really good interview. Unfortunately, we haven't got time to play the full interview or to even play an extract from it. But I would say to you, if you haven't read the book, it's well worth a read. It's gone on to be a huge seller for the guy. And we wish him continued success, of course, in everything he does. We also spoke with a lot of other guests. We spoke to Lorkin Kinsella. We talked to Andy Lambert from Content Cal. We talked to Kevin Lee from Buffer. There's so many different interviews there. We also spoke to Joanne Sweeney-Burke from the Digital Training Institute and the Public Sector Digital Summit. And I had the pleasure of working with her on that as well. And Joanne was on the podcast back, it was a good 6 months ago. It was back in episode number 18. And here's just a little brief extract of Joanne was talking about customer segmentation and targeting your message.
People often ask me, and I was actually with somebody yesterday in Dublin, and they said, every time I open my newsfeed on any channel, you're there. But then you're in other places across the world. How do you do it? And I said, well, that's the secret of my processes. I plan, I schedule, I create content in batches. I have a whole promotion strategy as well. And so some of those, and the first is to get content that sticks. And I love that phrase that you use, that sticky content, is you have to do audience segmentation. And I say to people, stop. Just stop right now. Whatever you're doing in terms of content, just stop it and take a step back and think really hard about who you want to listen. Because as Mark Schaefer says, we're living in an age right now of content shock. The internet is going to be 5 times bigger the size it is now in 2 years' time. So just stop, because you're wasting your time if you're not really clear on who your audience is. So audience segmentation is your very first step. Who do you want to talk to? So for me, it's marketing and communications professionals who need to elevate their skills and their knowledge to the next level. I'm very clear on that. I'm not targeting small business owners. I'm not targeting businesses. I'm targeting the marketing communications professionals in those organizations. I'm talking to them, and I'm very strategic about that. The other thing about doing audience segmentation is that then when you go to the promotion stage, you've got that perfected. So when you go to Facebook ads, when you go to Twitter ads, when you go to your LinkedIn advertising, when you go to your email outreach, you know exactly who you need to talk to. So you're a bit more strategic.
There you go. And of course, that was Joanne Sweeney-Burke talking all about customer segmentation as well, and her 12-step process. So I would say to you, if you are looking to build your digital strategy, definitely go back and listen to episode number 18 of the podcasts here with Joanne. Really, really insightful. As you may know, I am a huge advocate of LinkedIn, and I got the pleasure to talk to Viveka von Rosen, who is the LinkedIn expert, a couple of months back, talking all about LinkedIn. We were only supposed to record a 30-minute podcast, and it ended up being something like 45 minutes. And after we finished recording, we ended up speaking for another good hour about LinkedIn and some really, really fantastic insights. So I wanted to give you a little snippet of Viveka's, her podcast here. There's some really valuable information in the actual complete episode, which is episode number 17. So if you do want to go back and have a listen to that. But here's a little taste of what she talked about. If someone is going to start on LinkedIn, what's the advice that you would give them?
Yeah, so success on LinkedIn, I think, depends on 3 legs. So and I think the most important, although maybe not the most sexy, is the profile, is the personal branding piece. To make sure that when people find your profile on Google or they find you on LinkedIn, that you're not driving business away, that you're actually attracting business. So you've got your personal profile. And then you've got the content marketing piece. So we can talk a little bit later about video and publisher and some of the cool things that LinkedIn's doing right now. And then there's the lead generation piece, which a lot of businesses are actually interested in doing more business. And so there's that piece as well. But yeah, as far as foundations, having a really powerful profile is, I think, key. And the thing is, a lot of folks still think that LinkedIn is just a resume. Yeah. And so, they might have uploaded their resume into LinkedIn when they had that feature, 7 years ago. Ugh, I hated that thing because it always made mistakes. But, or they might have just copied and pasted their resume over to LinkedIn last year. But that's not enough. You really have to think about LinkedIn as your personal branding platform and make use of all the features like the background image and the summary section and the media, the ability to add media and recommendations and skills, all of these different features and the accomplishments with publications. And there's so many different areas, within the LinkedIn profile itself that can help you to really brand yourself, but also differentiate yourself from everybody else out there.
And there you go. As you can see by the short snippet that we played you, some of the information that Viveka actually gave us was just so invaluable for helping people to build up their LinkedIn profile, and really, really insightful interview there as well with her. And that, if you want to listen to it in the complete version, you can look for episode number 17 with Viveka van Rosen. And it really is, and she is, of course, from Vengresor.com is the website there if you want to find out more information about her and about her company as well. Later on in the year, we had to try and schedule in some time with one of my good friends, Mr. Steve Dotto from Dotto Tech, who came on and he talks all about YouTube video, because I know there was a huge interest at the time when we were, and there still is to this day, but there was at the time for people wanting to find out about how to create and build their YouTube channels. So we asked Steve to come on the podcast, and we had a chat with him about all about YouTube. And here's a little segment from that interview. People are trying to actually start and do online videos. Where would be the best place for them to be really starting off with?
I think it's worth, just before we even talk about the starting point, talking about just what online video looks like, because people kind of look at the word video and they think of it as a catch-all phrase. But video is, I kind of look at it like words. You know, you use words everywhere. We use words on the page and paper, in poetry and in contracts and in scripts and in stories and in instruction manuals. And it's all how it's applied that determines the value of the copy that you're writing. Video is the same. People look at video and they think you're an online video guy, so they think Facebook video, they think webinars, they think streaming, they think YouTube. You really have to recognize each of the different delivery mechanisms and what it brings to the table, and to understand where video fits in it. You know, on a global basis, video is, we are a video consuming generation. You know, the world today loves video. I call it a fast track to relationships, because as you say, you can't hide. You get to see people's face, you get to hear their inflection, you get all of the different, we bring so many different senses to bear in order to determine and judge the value of the content that's being delivered to us. It takes a lot of work on both sides to get the same kind of impact from the written word. You know, crafting well-written copy takes a tremendous amount of time, and consuming it, reading it, takes a lot of time. And over 50% of our content now is consumed on our smartphone, or around 50%. And text is terrible on the phone. It's a small format. It's just not conducive, whereas video is ideal for that. So if we kind of start with the overarching premise that video is probably the most effective communication medium that we can use in the online space, then we have to start thinking about the networks and where they're being delivered. You know, Facebook video versus YouTube video. Those are the two kind of giants. The type of video you create for each and the narrative that can happen in it are totally different. Facebook video is interruptive. If you're it's in stream, you're happening across a video in a stream, and it's interrupting whatever it is you're doing, even if you're just trying to waste time. So putting some sort of if I create a lot of how-to videos. If I was going to be doing a video on how to use Google Maps, well, the last thing that you don't care about that in Facebook. Because it's, you're there to see funny cats or something like that. Whereas in YouTube, it's intentional. Almost every video you view on YouTube are because you started in the search bar, right? And so when you visit a video of ours in YouTube, it's with intent. So there's a whole different social contract that's assigned to right out of the gate. So when you're creating video, a lot of people think they create a video and they're going to put it on YouTube. They're going to put it on Facebook. They're going to throw it out on Twitter. They're going to put it on their blog or put it on their website. Well, you really have to think about the purpose of that video, and is it appropriate for that channel? A 10-minute tutorial on using Google Maps is entirely not appropriate in Facebook. It's entirely appropriate in YouTube. So that's I think I often kind of give this little narrative, tell this little story in speaking engagements, and it's amazing how heavy this message lands on an audience. Like, people go, "Oh, I hadn't thought of that." Most of us haven't thought of that because we just look at video as this great, this kind of this omnipresent thing. But when you start to kind of drill down into and look at it as the medium it is, I think then you can start to gain some control.
There you go. So as I said, that's Steve Dotto talking all about YouTube, and that it was episode number 19 on the podcast earlier on this year. We've had, as I said, some fantastic guests throughout the year. We've had people that have come back onto the podcast to give us updates as well, and we're constantly doing that. So we don't just do one podcast with the person. If there is updates and they're the expert in that particular field, we'll try and get them back on the podcast later on as well. So, you will see there is some interviews there where we have had people on once or twice on the podcast as well. And one person that springs to mind on that one is Trevor Lorkings, the digital alchemist, who is a very good friend of the show and a very good friend of mine. And he is a very, very creative person. And if you want to find out more information about Trevor, you can log on to his website at thedigitalalchemist.co.uk, and you can find out all the information about him there. But Trevor came on and he was talking about creative images, and he was talking about, getting the right branding and making sure that, your images speak to your customers or speak to the people that you want to entice to come and speak to you and to get involved with you and to hire your services. So we spoke to, as I said, Trevor twice on the show. So we talked originally in one of the original episodes, which was going back to really it was one of the key podcasts of the when we started out, and I think it was in and around it was probably around number 16, and then we brought him back then again very later on in the year as well to speak again. And here is a segment from the second part of the podcast, which was all about being brave with your imagery. So here's a little segment of that.
Being consistent. So when you're creating your designs, it's the consistency of your brand, your colours, your style. You've got your logo, hopefully, and you pick the fonts you're going to work with. But then it comes down to images, because images are the thing that are going to make you stand out. We all know the statistics that will come out. When you tweet, if you tweet an image, you get so many more likes and replies and that kind of thing. And it's the same for every platform. So images are a key point to getting that message out. And they always say, a picture paints 1,000 words. And I think it's true. But you need to pick the right pictures. You need to be brave in finding those right pictures. And we couldn't be better placed nowadays. I mean, when I started doing graphics back in the days, these didn't exist. The internet barely existed. If you wanted pictures, you took a picture with your camera, and then you went down to sort of Boots the Chemist or somebody, and you took your film in, and a week later you got your photos back. When I first started doing web design, that's how I got pictures, because that's how you had to do it. Whereas now we are flooded with image libraries, and there's various ones on the internet that you can use. Some are paid, some are free. The joy is the thousands of images you can now pick, but it's a bit daunting. People say, well, how do you know where to pick the right image? There are so many now. Where do you start? And to me, it's just that mindset of knowing style that you want to put across in your imagery, and it's getting consistent look and feel. So when I'm picking images, as you said, you can tell the images I'm picking because they all sort of have a similar kind of style and a theme to them. No matter what the subject matter is, the style of the picture is going to be the same. That's half the battle. There's no easy answer to it. You've just got to get your own vibe of what your brand, what your business, and what your style is. But you don't want to be dull and boring. If you're going to be dull and boring, have that standard, bulk standard graphic image everybody else has because it was on the template you got on Canva or something, you're going to get lost. Or if you are seen, you're not going to be differentiated against the person that's also used the same image and the same colour scheme off a template, off a design package. So it's finding your identity and then finding those images which match your style.
So there you go. That was Trevor Lorkings, as I said, the digital alchemist, who came on the podcast twice over the year and gave us some fantastic tips and tricks about imagery and about, creating that right image and creating that right value for, all about images and about your graphics as well. So if you want to find out either of them episodes, you can log on to our website and you can find them. Don't forget, all of the shows are also available on Mixcloud and on Stitcher Radio and on Google Play, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts as well. And we have been so delighted to speak to some of the world's leading experts around social media, and we will continue to do it in the future as well. And we just wanted to bring you this show. We are so excited. We're so happy to have reached episode number 52 here of the podcast, which when we started out originally, we actually didn't think that it was going to be as popular as what it was, and it has turned into an absolutely Goliath of a podcast now every week, and we get inundated with requests for people to join us on the podcast, but also for people leaving their comments about the particular podcasts, and we really do appreciate that interaction, and we do appreciate you coming back every week and taking time out of your day to actually sit down and to listen to us on the podcast as well. I could sit here and I could play another 20 clips from some of the podcasts that we've done, but time is not on our side today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say thanks so much, and once again I want to reiterate yet again, thanks to all of our guests who've come on the podcast over the last year. Thank you for your time, and thank you for your help and also your encouragement as well. And when we were putting out each of the podcasts, for you're also for your help with promoting them as well, which is getting them out to a lot larger audience. If you know people who are interested, or businesses that are interested in listening and finding out more about social media marketing and digital marketing, please do let them know, because the more people that hear it, the better it is. The more people the more information you can gain from this podcast, and it really, really does help us as well on the other side of it. All of the podcasts, as I said, are available on our website at compassmedia.ie. We have now created a new section, and it just goes to show you the evolution of what we're doing here. Is last year we had no podcasting section on the website, and now we have a fully functional podcasting section that is now available. So you can find out all about you can find out all the podcasts there. You can also find out about the services that Compass Media provide with regards to creating podcasts, and also the training that we provide as well on the podcasts as well. And if it is something that you are interested, why not get in contact with myself, Alan Hennessy, at Compass Media. So that's Alan at compassmedia.ie. Send me an email and I can sit down and have a chat with you. But you can also find out, as I said, all of the information that is available on the website at compassmedia.ie/podcasts. Simple as that. Okay, so I just wanted to do a quick shout out and say thanks to everyone again for listening to today's podcast, and hopefully you enjoyed some of the memories that we brought to you from our previous episodes here on the Social Media Talks podcast. If you would like to get in contact with us, you can email us at smtalks@compassmedia.ie, and that will give you some sort of idea as to how you can contact us, and also how you can come on the podcast as well. And reminding you that all of the podcasts are available on Mixcloud, Stitcher Radio, Google Play, Spotify and Apple Podcasts. And we would be delighted if you would leave us a rating and review for the podcast. As I said, we're always thrilled to receive your feedback on any of them. And you can also subscribe there to the podcast so you never miss another episode as well. And as if you'd like to be a guest on the podcast, please do get in contact with us. You can email us at smtalks@compassmedia.ie, and you can also find out about all the services that Compass Media provide, from social media marketing, digital marketing to podcast services, all on our website as well. And if you want to reach out to me and contact me directly, you can find me on all the usual social media platforms, from Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram. I'm on them all. All you have to do is search for either Alan Hennessy or for Compass Media, and we will be able to contact you, and we'll be able to have a chat. Exactly. Simple as that. So, as I said, once again, thanks for joining me today on the Social Media Talks podcast. It has been an absolute pleasure over the last year to bring the podcast to you, and we will continue to do it into the future. And we have some fantastic guests who come up on next year's show, which we will be starting next week, of course. And we are kicking off next year, this year, I suppose, the new year, our second year, with a fantastic interview with Madeleine Scalar, who is going to be coming back on the podcast again. And the next week we're going to be talking to her all about her new mastermind program, the Video Like a Rock Star. So if you want to find out more about that, tune in next week for the next episode of the Social Media Talks podcast. I've been Alan Hennessy. Do hope you enjoyed the program today, and you'll come back for more, and I'll see you all very soon. And as I always say, be social. So on the next time, have a great week and stay safe. All right, talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Hi, I'm Barry Feldman from Feldman Creative.
I'm Bill Hart from Building Champion.
Hi, I'm Lucy Hall from avissomedia.com and socialday.co.uk.
Hi, I'm Ian Anderson-Gray from Seriously Social.
Hey, this is Viveka von Rosen.
Hi, I'm Greg Fry.
Hi, I'm Subi Zimmerman.
This is Brian Fanzo.
Hello, I'm Joanne Sweeney-Burke.
Hi, I'm Cami Huyse.
Hi, I'm Dan Knowlton from KPS Digital Marketing.
Hi, Steve Dotto here from DottoTech.com.
Hi, I'm Jessica Phillips.
Hi, I'm Victoria Taylor.
Hi, I'm Jen Herman.
Hello, I'm BB Baskin.
Hi, I'm Todd Genatasio.
Hi, I'm Mike Alton from the Social Media Hat.
I'm Paul O'Mahony.
Hi, this is Trevor Lorkings.
I'm Julia Bramble from bramblebuzz.co.uk.
Hi, this is Paul Dunphy, Esquire.
Hi, I'm Lorking Kinsler from Brand Nova Digital.
Hi, I'm Michelle Duffy-Rudden from Irish Biz Party.
Hey, this is Madeline Sklar, host of the Twitter Smarter podcast, and you're listening to the Social Media Talks podcast with Alan Hennessy of Compass Media.
Social Media Talks podcast is a production from compassmedia.ie.